again, that would take time to,
Right, grants are,
Do you know of any grant monies either?
I mean, I'm not saying there's not any, but typically for tank rehab, that's an O&M, operation and maintenance issue that I've not worked. Rebuilding a new tank, yes, you can get ARP, CDBG, and grants for that, for rehab and cleaning one up an existing tank. I've not dealt with a lot of grants for those. I'm not saying there's not out there, there may be some
well,
I'm not aware
I
of.
didn't actually call for the interest rate.
But you feel good about the low bidder?
Yes, sir. I mean, Nathaniel, your engineer did.
Yeah.
He's checked them out and he's certified the bid package. There was actually an additional bidder on here, but because they didn't contain all the information that was requested and required in the bid, it was rejected.
Okay.
So it wasn't the low bid, but it was probably in the middle, and he had to throw those out. So he has certified the bids.
Okay. I don't have any problem with Lloyd going ahead and,
no, no.
Yeah, I mean, once we rebid it, it's always gonna be higher. on my
it's,
opinion.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we've been pushing
Exactly.
this one for a while and talked about it for a while, and I think the state has given us kind of some lenience, and if we start doing something, they'll be even more lenient. Make your position a little easier for, yes, we're gonna move on it, and then when you're talking to them, if we need an extension, they'd probably be more lenient to do
And I
that.
think a lot of that too, yeah, if they see that we are in the process of taking action on it, that they would be a little more lenient to us.
So we're,
We would need a motion.
You ready for that?
I make a motion that we accept the low bid for the water tank.
I second the motion.
Motion and second, all in favor?
aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Moving on to number 3, resolution 2024-09-01, a resolution to add newly elected aldermen and alderwomen to Town Gainesboro accounts.
I make a motion that we accept that.
Second the motion.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Moving on to number 4, approval to open up new account for sewer grant.
What's the purpose for doing that? Just keeping the money separate so it's easy to see?
So we're fixing to have a water grant and a sewer grant going at the same time.
Okay.
And so we need an extra fund for the sewer so that we can keep them separate. It's just easier for the auditor and myself.
Well, I'll make a motion that we open a second account for the sewer grant.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Moving on to number 5, Hope Vargas Chamber of Commerce Jeep for treat Saturday, October 22nd at 6 p.m. road closure on South Union and East Gore Avenue, and possibly West Gore if needed.
And that's October 26th.
Chief, you got any problems with that?
No, sir.
Do we have the paperwork that, you got the form?
I have not got one from them yet.
So going forward, hope everybody, Mickey has come up with a form. And it basically says that your businesses that would be impacted agree on the times and where you're going to close. And at this time of night, I don't think there's going to be any business that's going to be impacted, but still it'd be good to have it on file and just check off, because, I don't know, from this road you're naming, with that, if Faze decided they wanted to stay open for whatever reason, they said, yeah, that's fine with us. We don't want to block a business from operating. So if you just fill out a form just for Mickey, I think it'd be fine.
Hope you got anything to add, or?
Nope, thank you guys.
Well, trick or treat?
Approval?
Yes. Yeah, well, I guess we need to make a motion with that, sorry.
I make a motion for the street closure as requested with the chamber.
I second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item number 6, Town of Gainesboro will observe Halloween trick or treating on Saturday, October 26th. That coincides with the Jeep retreat. They've kind of supported us over the last 3 or 4 years, and we want to try to get as many people down here to support them. And personally, as somebody with, I guess my boys still go trick or treat, my girls. But it makes it so much easier on, to me, I know some people are against it, to me, it makes it so much easier on a parent not having to get up, take them to school the next day, or.
Yeah,
Well, I make a motion to approve.
I second that.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Tara Gibson with Give Flow Farms. A ride around town during the October 5th Fall Festival. She,
We were not able to find somebody to do the hayride. So we were looking and we haven't been able to find them. So
Okay.
that's a,
They have an ordinance against that, and
oh, really?
I was gonna say that, we were talking about that one before. So there's nothing to vote on, recommend, or whatever. But just FYI, what Taylor said, there is an ordinance against doing that.
oh, didn't know that.
What about the horse ride? Is there one against it?
Well, it's not specifically about a hayride, but
Oh,
it
it's
just
about-
says you can't ride on the outside of the vehicle. That's not maybe for that. So like a carriage, maybe that wouldn't violate the ordinance, but like a hay trailer probably would.
Okay. All right, moving on to number 8, Kara Smith, street closure along North Main from Cox Avenue to Hall Avenue for mammogram, blood assurance, and mental health bus on October the 5th from 10 to 2.
So that's beside Southern Hills. In between Cherry Rose and Southern Hills.
Yeah, I went and talked to them to Cheryl and Tara, because it's the same day as their fall festival, and so I didn't want to. So we're doing inside of Timeless Events. We are doing free wellness exams. We're also going to have a converted ambulance here that is going to do free mental health exams and treatment. And blood assurance for blood donation, and then a mammogram bus. And so don't want to block the things they're doing. So talking about putting those butts, because they're going to have vendors on the sidewalk beside Cheryl at Southern Mix that goes up that side street. And so blocking off just that side street to put the buses and the ambulance down there.
Where the parking spaces are. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, so here, I have a map drawn for you. Because, let me see, that's a different one, this one. So this is the form, and I put 2 different options on here, but this is the one that we talked about is blocking off. This is South Union, North Main,
Yeah.
and the court and the whole. So this is the main highway.
So you got this.
And so this is that. So this is where like Gibflow and Pie Peddler and Southern Mix are. And so then this is that side road coming up to that. And so we were thinking about putting potentially, and we can talk more, but potentially putting like a bus this way and the ambulance. That way we're not preventing, so the traffic can flow, and that way I don't want to really put it up here where the street's really flat, because they're going to have vendors on the sidewalk on both sides. And so a bus here would just really block the vendors, and I just don't think that would be, so Timeless is down here where the wellness checks will be, but the other would be up here.
This is Cox. This is Cox.
Is that Cox? See? Sorry.
Okay. All right.
You can write Cox on there for me, because
No.
I messed it up.
And it's call it.
Yeah, there's no business.
Yeah,
No, there's no businesses on
side.
either of those.
The only one, it's just your parking, and if
It's just the park, and then
if
it's
she's
just
fine with it,
their vendors. Yeah.
So-
And so so I didn't have anybody, so I wasn't
Well-
really sure what to do.
Well, the only one that would impact, because it is your parking to visit this business. Southern
Okay,
Mix.
so
And
Cheryl-
and if she's okay with it,
Okay, well, she verbally said that, but I can talk to her
just
later
for the
about that.
paperwork. I'd
Yeah,
like her
That's
to sign
fine.
it.
That's fine.
I
Yeah.
think it's fine, just have her sign it. And
That way
fine.
nobody can come back and say,
Yeah, I can do that.
Chief, do you foresee any problems with that?
I do not. Because like I said, there's a street there at Honest John's, and then the street coming down by,
Firehouse?
yeah, well, up by your house, and then also there by the post office in Old Gainsborough Drive.
My only other question is, I thought that Jeff was going to request the street closure for the fire department fundraiser. But last time I talked to you, he still hadn't.
I haven't heard anything.
I haven't heard anything either.
So my next question would be I can talk to them about this, but they're going to have vendors on the sidewalk here. But if we put buses, the health buses.
Are you talking about the car show that they're going to have? I did talk to him. He hasn't got the paperwork filled out yet, but he is going to.
He is doing that. Okay,
yes.
Never mind then. Okay, he is doing that.
They're going
Perfect.
to do it on the
Perfect.
from the
Okay.
Methodist Church down
Right.
to the one way.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect. Okay. That's it.
Well, I don't see a problem except for number 10 is wanting the same thing on the same day. 9 and 10 are the same street, aren't they? I know she's wanting
In front of our face. But she doesn't want it for, how long do you want that, Cheryl?
Just whenever the business is closed, then that's when we do like a street walk off. So sometime after 12:31,
And Faze is the only business in operation on there, isn't it? On that street?
On Saturday,
Yeah.
I think so. The courthouse.
Saturday in the courthouse
Yeah.
till 12,
Till then.
or Saturday in the courthouse. The courthouse in Fayetteville till 12.
Does anybody go to the courthouse now? What's up there now?
Mayor's office.
I mean, really, all the stuff's up here, right? But you go
The
there,
election
tag,
office.
Where you get your tags at now?
Still in the courthouse.
Still there.
Well, if it's yeah.
If it's after 1, if it's 1 or after, would that be a problem? No, Anderson Hill, I think, closes
On
at
Terry
12.
Smith, I need a motion and a second for that.
Okay, I'll make a
For
motion.
number 9.
I'll make a motion for it to be approved.
And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, we didn't make a motion on Karis.
We just did.
That's what
That
we
was
got.
that's
Yeah.
okay. I thought we moved to 9.
No,
Now we'll move to 10.
we're moving it to.
I appreciate y'all bringing that.
We got to go to 9.
Me too,
That's a
yeah.
good thing to have.
That
We're
is.
getting ahead of ourselves. We have to have a motion for each one of these.
All right, moving on to number 9, Cheryl, Southern Mixed Store Street closure for Cakewalk, South Union Street on October 5th, Fall Festival.
I make a motion to approve.
Yeah, mine's out of sync.
I've got
Okay.
number 10 for that one.
I have it as number 10. You have it as number 9.
I got it.
This is the one you emailed me, not the one you handed out.
Oh, okay.
So there's the-
Right.
that's
Yeah,
what it
I
is.
took the,
That's what
I
it
took
is.
the John Fox and put it in the committee.
Sorry.
That's fine.
All right, so
Number 9.
I made a motion to approve, and I think,
I second that.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Lot of stuff happening in Gainsborough.
That's a good thing.
that is good.
Number 10, annexing new areas into the city, discussion only.
Yeah, that's one of my items. So, doing the ride-along that got to do with the chief of police, and it was nice riding in front of the patrol car. Appreciate that. No extra jewelry or anything required. And so we have some really strange boundary lines in the city where, as you're going up the road, up the hill here, as you know, it's in the city limits, but your house is not. The same on this side of the town, and the same here and there, and you can go along, there's 3 or 4 houses that are in the county, and then this one's in the city. And I would like to pursue adding these properties, and it'd be up for discussion, all of what would be added into the city limits of Gainsborough. And what all it has to take to have that. You said there may be some favorable legislation that may happen, and it wouldn't be as difficult as it was in the past.
Well, I think it's been proposed and they say it's coming, but I think it's just, it's dead every time. It's not,
I think
nothing's passed.
if you can make it to the next planning meeting, that's where we do, that's where you come to have your stuff annexed in, and that gentleman will know a lot more than, not like you, but I mean, more than I do.
Yeah.
We did do a house like that when I first got in, but then David told me it was a lot harder now than it was back then. I mean, they done it for insurance reasons, and we didn't,
Well, yeah.
and so it went pretty smooth, but it'd be the first Tuesday of next month. Or we can call him up or whatever, send him an email, or whatever information we need. Let's do that.
Let's do that. Let's go ahead and start. And I understand it's a process, but I guess what I'm saying is I'd like to start the process.
If it's within the urban growth boundary, it's not as
It's
big
not
of
a-
a deal,
yeah,
but if
it's
it's
not a big
outside
deal.
of it, it is a big deal.
Well,
And
that
who
was-
determines that boundary, the urban
It's
growth
set by
boundary?
the state.
It's,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
And you
the
have them-
Elkins, see, they wanted
Right.
to annex, and they could not because they were outside the urban growth boundary. They were.
Well, they
not.
could, but
It
it was
would
gonna
be
be
a
a
long-
huge, long process, has to go before,
The county and.
yeah, takes like a
That-
year-long
That
process.
seems baffling because Cookville is growing and they're annexing in these farms where
Mhm.
they had just turned over and they picked that farm up
When
as
they-
part of the
When they
city.
set their urban growth boundaries, they seen that.
Oh.
And we-
So that boundary is something we could have set.
I don't know who said it. I think the
it
state
was the
said.
state went around and drew up these maps of the projected growth.
Right, I know in 2013, the state projected that the growth of Gainesboro would be 14.13%, and I'm not sure where we are today on that. But some of the, and I will say, I did look up the code on that, and Title 6, Chapter 58, Part 1 says that we can ask the citizens if they want to be annexed, or we will need a referendum to make that happen. Now, that would be leaning more towards your area, because I'm not sure what it would take to make a referendum to annex properties. But I do know that we have to think about providing additional services or something that would make the people happy to say, yeah, whether it's a sanitation service or, I don't know, making the streets better. I don't know what we would need, but it needs to be, we need to talk about it along the way and make it because it is something we need to do. I agree with you wholeheartedly, it's something we need to do, but we do need to look at the positives for the citizens of Gainesboro.
If you go to MTAS, if you go to their website, they have like a step-by-step guide to annexation for like with the owner's consent, without the owner's consent.
Yeah, well, that was something I need to ask MTask. I was looking up all these different websites on Tennessee codes and stuff, and what can we share along the way? Because I don't know what we can share, so that's a question for MTask as we meet with them on Thursday.
It's a good time.
It is good time. Okay. So we'll pursue that. Yes, I would like to at least start it as an email, generate that and find out.
You, Darla, email and just say we need information on you.
And if Darla, if you'll include all of us, that would be great.
And just, Kara, you're not opposed to being part of the city if we annexed?
That's a
your
Bo
house?
question. That is not a Kara question.
Well, ask Bo to see.
Because Herman Smith said that he would never live in the city, so I don't know what Bo Smith will say.
When I first moved into the city, I was right here in a little town, and Donnie Elkins was putting on a fireworks show up there. And so I had a sparkler in my backyard. The police come over and said, "We didn't have them city limits." I'm looking, hey, but he wasn't city limits. I'm like, wow. I was wrong. They were right.
I'm with Tom. It's confounding to me how the city limits move and shake around here.
Well, one of our former aldermen once said, they're getting city water, they're getting city services. If a fire breaks out at your house, we know we're going to respond to it because it's the right thing to do. It seems like they would want to be part of the city, and it would make sense. And they want to pay city taxes. And when I've talked to the 2 or 3 people that said, you know, that is a tax base, and they're like, yeah, but I want to be able to vote. I want to be able to do things within the city. So.
The insurance will also be cheaper too. So
And your insurance is better. So there's some pros and cons to all of it. But
There you go, that one.
you can't shoot your rifle off Sunday morning because you wanted to if you're in the city.
That's a comment.
But that's fine. All right. So on the next meeting, we might have something to move further.
Moving on to number 11, raising water rates. Discussion on it.
Yeah, that was me, was floating the idea that if we sell the water to the county, non-towns personnel or citizens, that they pay a different rate than what the city pays. And can we do that? And it doesn't have to be a lot, but it'd be some because, again, the water company, part of it has to run as a profit. And so for all these outliers that we're supplying water to,
They already paid us
They do, they pay a different rate than what,
do they pay more or less?
they pay less than what our lowest rate is, but they still pay us more than they pay the surrounding counties for purchasing water from them.
What about residents outside the city?
So we have in-town rates, inside city rates, and we have outside city rates. So if your house is inside city rates, you get a city rate. If it's outside, you get the outside rate. So I can give you a rate sheet on that.
That's my next question. Great, that'd be super.
I had a question on that, and if we choose to raise water rates, and that's for discussion, are we also looking at sewage also? Because when we do that, we have to look at both, at the rising cost of chemicals for both water and wastewater. And also, do we have a stormwater budget within the city?
If that would be in the general fund, the stormwater, but
We're
I'm
going
not.
great.
Yeah, we're working on a stormwater grant,
With
but as
Ted.
far as money being budgeted in for the stormwater, we don't.
But the reason why I asked about that was drainage around the city. That's something we need to look at also as we go forward, is how are we gonna keep that drainage clean? And that's part of wastewater, and we can't tax wastewater any more than they're already taxed. So,
So when you get your water bill, if your water bill's $50, your sewer bill's automatically $50, because we don't know what you've actually done with that water. So whatever your water bill is the same as your sewer rate.
okay.
But
So
then
we
does it
charge
safe to
the
say
same
you're
rate.
always losing on your sewer?
Yes.
$50 on cover.
I mean, the state is getting to a point where they will start separating it, so you're gonna have to be independently profit or break even at least on water and sewer, but for years, it's just notoriously that sewers are losing.
Our insurance man told me the other day when he was here, where he lives, his sewer bill is 3 times his water bill.
Yeah,
That, you're starting to
typically
see
that's-
that.
But yeah, it's usually at least double in most areas. And I'm sure if we're looking at cost, Chad, you can talk about this. The chemicals to treat waste is as much as it is to treat that water coming in, or,
UV, what we use on the treat the water going out to the river, it's UV bulbs, they're about $400 a piece, so they hold 6 bulbs. They go out, you know what I'm saying? They go, we gotta replace them. They're expensive. Get the sleeves.
There's your annex.
there it
If they're
is.
outside the city.
And we know Jerry.
There's your,
That's right.
And I think Jerry can attest to the cost of water treatment chemicals.
They went way up.
Yes, they have.
They go up every year.
Yeah, and it doesn't stop that needing to treat that water so we can drink it. All right, well, I think we have something on our agenda for next time.
moving on to 12, back on the utility bill.
I called MTS concerning this and spoke with Gary Jekyll, our MTS guy, that you're gonna meet with on Thursday. But he says in order to do this, it would have to be in our charter, which it is not, and if there is no state statute allowing it. He said because once you start advertising, allowing advertising, anybody can advertise. You can't
discriminate.
You cannot discriminate. He said, so if you want the commercial plumbers to advertise, that's fine, but then you may get some hate group that raises enough money and wants to advertise on your bill, you can't discriminate. He said, so MTAX does not recommend it whatsoever.
We'll go back about that, they give you the worst possible case.
Yep, and then you make your decision after that.
Yeah.
Take it all.
They always say no to everything, even though like all these counties do things, you ask them, that's not like,
Yeah. Well, the only thing I could find was like county school buses, advertisements, but there was, the only 3 cities I could find was San Diego, Austin, and Denver. It's like, We're not there. We're not there.
So they advertise on their,
They do, but they have like guidelines that, like, they say you cannot use any alcohol, cigarettes, firearms, tobacco, you know, that whole thing. But those were the only 3 cities I could find that currently do a lot of advertising.
all right. I'm good for tabling
Have
that.
y'all met with the employees?
Just
All right, this is the fun part. Everybody stand up. Stand up, Johnny. There we go. Fun part. What's that guy's name?
My name is Johnny Pig. I'm the supervisor of Public Works, Water, Sewer, Streets. Joseph Lynch, Waterman. Bobby Netherton, Streets. Mitch, how's your last name? Last name? Ariola. Water and Streets. Gary Rupp, he's our water plant supervisor. Chad Scott, wastewater supervisor. Keith Dodson, wastewater.
Thank you all for all you do for us every day.
Well, y'all met me, I rode y'all around. This is Dustin Derblinger. He'll be leaving us September 29th, going to the academy for 3 months, so get a good look at him. You probably won't see him no more. Nathan Belmonte, he's a night shift officer, won't come today, he works nights. And the other 2 it's their off week, or off days, so they're not here.
Thank you, thank you
And y'all,
guys.
Lisa and Darla.
Lisa, thank you, darling.
And this is Isaac with our fire department.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Isaac does a great job. What, you got what you got, $100,000 grant?
$109,240.
Nice.
Good job. All right.
Need a motion for
All right, do you have anything else?
I'm good.
I make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
We are adjourned.
All right.